Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your indulgence today. Thanks for holding this hearing on the so-called assault weapons. Let's hope that today's hearing we'll all have a better understanding of these types of rifles and how they are used in committing crimes, particularly murder. I hope we can also have an open and honest dialogue about the firearms my colleagues wish to ban. I hope we can avoid the rhetoric that has plagued this discussion for decades. Only when we are equipped with the facts can we mobilize to effectively prevent violent crime, a goal we all share. Let's first look at the term assault weapon and when the term entered the American lexicon. Many attribute the invention of the term to Josh Sugarman, the boss of one of our witnesses here today. In 1988, Mr. Sugarman stated, assault weapons, just like armor-piercing bullets, machine guns, and plastic firearms, are a new topic. The weapon's menacing looks, coupled with the public's confusion over fully automatic machine guns versus semi-automatic assault weapons, anything that looks like a machine gun is assumed to be a machine gun, can only increase the chance of public support for restrictions on these weapons. In addition, few people can envision practical uses for these weapons. Assault weapons, however, are not assault rifles. Assault rifles are rapid-fire magazine-fed rifles designed for military use. They are shoulder-fired weapons that allow the shooter to select between settings: semi-automatic, requiring the operator to pull the trigger for each shot, and fully automatic, allowing the operator to hold the trigger as the gun fires continuously or in 3-shot bursts. As Mr. Sugarman's statement indicates, the so-called assault weapons are semi-automatic. They aren't assault rifles, and they can't be used as a fully automatic assault rifle. Semi-automatic firearms require you to pull the trigger each time for each shot, just as a pistol requires one trigger pull per shot. Unfortunately, many in the American public and the media, and shockingly in this body, do not understand the difference. We must understand what different firearms do and how they function if we want to have effective laws to prevent gun violence. I can't imagine anyone here today would advocate for legislation that does not actually make our families safer, but that's what I fear we're headed for. As one member of this committee has conflated the term assault rifle and assault weapon multiple times, dear colleagues' letter seeking support for a bill banning assault weapons. And as we dive into these conversations, let's clear up another popular misconception. The AR in AR-15 does not stand for assault rifle. Rather, it stands for Armalite Rifle Model 15. AR-15s are not assault rifles. They are semi-automatic firearms that function similarly to hunting rifles, where the operator pulls the trigger to fire each shot. The differences between these guns are largely cosmetic. Sadly, disinformation comes from many sources. A state senator from California, when speaking about an assault weapon, stated that right here has the ability of 30, and this is their term, not mine, a 30 caliber clip, should be a magazine, to disperse 30 bullets in a half a second. 30 magazine to disperse in a half second. Either that's a blatant misrepresentation or an indication of shocking ignorance. Even a fully automatic military-issued M4 cannot fire at such a rate. Another member of the committee stated that I've held an AR-15 in my hand. Wish I hadn't. It was as heavy as 10 boxes that you might be moving, and a bullet that is utilized is a 50 caliber. These kinds of bullets need to be licensed and do not need to be on the street. This is a brief statement somehow manages to make several basic factual errors. An AR-15 weighs between 6 and 7 pounds, fires a .223 round of ammunition. It does not fire 50 caliber ammunition. Anyone who knows or discussed this about firearms would know that it is absurd to even suggest it. I hope that we can clear up these misconceptions in today's hearing, but my hopes are not high. However, when we have a Democratic presidential candidate say, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, let's hope cooler and rational heads prevail here today. Finally, let's review how these so-called assault rifles are used in crime. Some estimate and calculate the number of assault weapons in private hands at around 10 million. In 2017, according to the FBI, there were 403 murders committed with all rifles, not just those deemed to be assault weapons. By comparison, knives and cutting instruments were used in 1,591 murders, blunt objects, clubs, hammers, bats, 467, hands, feet, were used in 696 murders. At the same time, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration found speeding killed 9,717 people, yet I do not see any of my colleagues advocating for the prohibition of a purchase or possession of a vehicle traveling more than 70 miles an hour. My friends, if we're going to have this debate, and we should, we must be honest with each other and take the time to learn basic facts about the items we're looking to ban, and also the result of what that might actually incur. That's not too much to ask, and hopefully the witnesses here today can assist with that task. With that, I yield back.